We are living in a golden age of Minecraft speedrunning. Over the past few months, world record times across all major versions have been cut down at an amazing rate. For better or for worse, all this means that it's now a lot more difficult for even the top runners to get a good time. But if Minecraft has taught me one thing, it's that you should work smarter, not harder. Whether you're an experienced runner sick of bad blinds, or, like me, you just suck at Minecraft, there are other ways to get world records. Everyone deserves a chance at Minecraft glory. So today, we're gonna take a look at some of the weirdest, wildest, wackiest official speedrun category extensions out there. Virtually every Minecraft player agrees that lime wool is the best block in the game. It's the perfect material for building everything from giant statues of Kermit to tiny statues of Kermit to bigger blocks of lime wool. So it made sense that back in March, the good people over at Speedrun.com decided to make that month's new category extension all about, well, lime wool. Nearly 4 months later, over 70 runners have submitted their official attempts. Here's the story of how one of them rose above the rest. Emlons, if that's how it's pronounced, is a pretty hardcore lime wool enthusiast. A month ago, he collected 64 blocks of the stuff in just 2 minutes and 22 seconds on a set seed run, good enough for 3rd place in the world. But for Emlons, just being up there with the best wasn't good enough. He wanted to be the best.
In order to have a successful lime wool speedrun, you obviously need sheep, lime dye to color them with, and of course shears to harvest the wool. So, as in any RSG run, skill can only take you part of the way. A good seed can make all the difference. Luckily for Emlons, the spawn point is about as good as anything he could have hoped for. He's right next to a desert pyramid, so he immediately heads over to start gathering resources. First, he takes the 9 TNT, which will allow him to break every block he needs without wasting valuable time crafting tools and mining. In a skillful move, he then uses one of the TNT to blow up all the loot chests, leaving him with enough iron for shears, as well as some bones, which will come in handy later. He sets off another explosion to get stone, and then heads for the surface. Now, one way lime wool runners can get their dye is from smelting sea pickles, but this time there's no ocean in sight. Luckily for Emlons, he's got a trick up his sleeve. You see, while you were having sword fights with markers in art class, he was paying attention, and he knows that if he combines green dye from a cactus with white dye from those bones, he'll get lime dye. But how exactly do you go about harvesting a cactus? Just one accidental brush against one could deal serious damage. So, in a moment of pure genius, Emlon starts placing blocks next to cactuses, instantly breaking the plants. The other thing that makes deserts perfect for lime wool runs is that, as hot biomes, they usually generate next to savannas. This desert is no exception. Savannas are great because, like most grassy biomes, they can spawn sheep. They also supply wood without having so many trees that they impede the player's movement. Emlons uses the last of his TNT to blow up a tree and make a crafting table, uses the stone from under the temple to make furnaces, and starts smelting the cactuses into green dye. At this point, the run has clear world record potential. We can only imagine the amount of pressure Emlons must be feeling. On the one hand, he may be a few seconds from cementing his place among the Minecraft greats. On the other hand, one misclick would lead to years of sleepless nights wondering, what could have been? There's a certain kind of person who can feed off this kind of stress. Use it as fuel to become the best Minecrafter they can be. Emlons will just try to do the best he can. Grabbing the first few pieces of lime dye, he starts sprinting around the savannah, dyeing and shearing sheep after sheep in fractions of seconds. He grabs more dye, and before he knows it, he has 64 whole blocks of lime wool right there in his hotbar. 4 minutes, 20 seconds. With a retime, it's enough for best in the world. As I was saying, you either have that clutch gene or you don't. After that run, it's pretty easy to tell which kind of player Emlons is.
This next segment is about none other than the king of weird speedruns, Feinberg. In addition to being the current world record holder for 1.16 FSG, Feinberg also holds the unofficial record for fastest time to gather every block in the game, which we'll save for another video, as well as the official fastest time in the world to collect every type of wood log. That last record deserves some deeper analysis.
The date was May 2nd, and Feinberg was playing in the most high-stakes Minecraft speedrunning tournament we've ever seen. Facing 6 other top 1.16 runners, cash prizes would be distributed based on who could get the fastest runs in a 36-hour period across 3 days. Those 3 days were almost over, and Feinberg's best run was middle of the pack, so he was still grinding to improve it as much as possible and move up the leaderboard. Nobody opens up a new world intending to go for the all logs record, and especially not in a tournament where every second you waste is less time you can spend competing for valuable cash prizes. But as soon as the chunks load in around Feinberg, he knows he has a chance to do something special. He has acacia trees on one side, an ocean for easy travel on the other, and jungles are rare enough that he might as well go for it. He punches down an acacia tree, crafts some tools including a wooden axe, and then collects one last acacia log and a jungle log. Savanna biomes also have oak trees, so that takes care of that. Feinberg then heads out to sea and finds a shipwreck right near the surface. From the chests he grabs some armor and food, though he probably won't end up needing either, and more importantly some iron. It's enough for a shovel, a pickaxe, and a bucket for portal making. Another benefit of shipwrecks that isn't really relevant outside all log speedruns is that they are, well, made of logs. This one has a mast made of dark oak, so that's 4 log types down, 4 to go. Feinberg keeps going, stopping at an island to chop up the lone birch tree, and then finds another shipwreck. In another stroke of luck, this one is made of the last overworld log he needs, spruce. This is extremely helpful, because to get spruce from a tree like normal, he'd have to travel all the way to a cold biome type, which usually generates nowhere near warm clusters of jungles and savannas. At this point, all Feinberg has left are the nether trees. He finds an underwater ravine and makes portal building look easy. One right click with the flint and steel, and he's in. Now, if we still made those Was This Run fake videos, this part would definitely arouse suspicion. The nether spawn is quite literally as good as it gets, right on the border of a crimson and warped forest, with both types of trees a few blocks from the portal. But this is 100% real, and nobody is happier about it than Feinberg.
Let's go! Let's go!
Gathering the last 2 logs with his wooden axe, he's officially shattered the previous record by over a minute.
Rightfully so, there's been a lot of hype surrounding the release of the 1.17 update. But for the Minecraft speedrunning community in particular, it's been a bit underwhelming. Part 1 of the update didn't bring any major changes to traditional speedrun progression or strategies. If anything, it's made things worse, as Piglin Ender Pearl trade rates are much lower in 1.17 than they were in 1.16.1. But as we know by now, traditional speedruns are not the only speedruns. Some runners see potential in 1.17's new features and have started using them in fun new runs. Lord Weasel is one such runner. He sees 1.17's new achievements as an opportunity to break out of the monotony of the speedrun grind. He spent the past few days running 1.17 on Twitch and already claims 2 world records. 1.17 runs, he says, are fun as well as educational. His The Cutest Predator speedrun, in which he tries to catch an axolotl in a bucket as fast as possible, has given him and his viewers an opportunity to learn more about these endangered salamanders. I barely even knew what an axolotl was a few days ago, he says. He wasn't quite sure what a goat was either before he started trying for the Whatever Floats Your Goat achievement, where you try to lure a mountain goat into a boat. So, yeah, these runs are kinda strange. But with some of the speedrun categories we've seen, there's no reason these shouldn't be official as well. There's a lot of room for optimization here, so if you get a great time on either of these runs, make sure to let us know in the comments. And if you have any ideas for new speedrun categories, we'd love to hear those too. Even as Minecraft gets more competitive and the leaderboards tighten, what makes this game so unique as a sandbox that can be speedrun is that there are really infinite ways to play. Minecraft has always been about creativity, about making new challenges for yourself, and as such, even in a speedrun, you can never truly beat it. Long after the records for the main categories are impossibly low, speedrunning will endure, because Minecraft can be anything you want it to be. If you'd like to see more videos about weird speedruns, from Half Heart Hardcore to a future video about Minachunk, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Only a teensy tiny percentage of our viewers are actually subscribed, so your subscribing and watching the ads goes a long way towards funding my LEGO minifigure collection. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. A huge thank you to our Patreon supporters, especially The Great Rambler, Anthony Reality, and MFD Gamer, and we will see you in the next video.